what about her email? But what about her emails?
It's funny you should mention her emails, because today we are talking about emails.
We found Hillary Clinton's email.
We did. We were going to have a guest today, and then we didn't have a guest. So you are our guest. You submitted to us the most unhinged things that you were sent by your principal or by parents, etc., etc. Some of these are really silly.
Oh, I wonder if I can find one of my old ones.
Oh my God.
Oh, I did just find one of my old ones. It was the one I was talking about but couldn't find when we recorded About Me.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah.
Read it to us.
This is from the principal, and it was sent to the entire school in May of 2021. So right at the end of the 2020 to 21 school year. So think about like the headspace everyone was in at that time. Basically, it says like a bunch of detailed laws around how state tests don't count for against the students because of coronavirus, but they still count towards the school. It says, hopefully you've stressed the importance of these tests to your students. Later this summer, once we begin to tabulate, clean up, and analyze our data, this is a person who did not know how to use a Google form. I would love to watch you analyze data. We will then have a clear understanding of where our students are and what adjustments need to be made moving forward as it relates to our schedule, course offerings, teacher placement, and instructional focus. In complete transparency, based on what I have recently witnessed, we are nowhere close to where we should be. In short, we have a lot of work to do. Next school year, please be prepared like you have never worked before. Next school year will be the greatest test of your professional careers.
What?
As I type this message, I have begun to devise a plan that will reshape our academic focus, and now an even greater emphasis must be placed on instructional delivery / engagement, instructional planning, assessment, and the learning environment. At this point, in all caps, accountability will be a part of our daily lives and discussions.
Oh my God!
Ultimately, our restructuring / shaping for the 21 to 22 school year also involves a possible shift in leadership / leadership team members. If you're interested in being a part of the leadership team, or if you are interested in applying for one of the positions listed below, please contact blah blah blah, and then it goes on with like names, offices, and dates, and then it lists every single position available that some people had already been in for years, like academic coaches, department heads, things like that. You do have to re-sign every year, but most schools, like as long as the person still wants to do it, they just kind of keep doing it. Like it's not like a bidding war every year.
So the head of the English department was like sitting at home like, I can't wait to be the head of the English department again.
Oh, there's more.
Oh, okay, good.
Accordingly, this pandemic, along with other mitigating factors, has shown us some of our practices here are flawed. Adjustments must be made immediately. Yes, we've suffered some debilitating losses and setbacks, but we cannot get into the habit of making excuses. Correction of the problem begins here and now. And then he has a really long quote from Barack Obama that's formatted incorrectly, and then ends the email with 7 hashtags. He was a big fan of a hashtag in an email. Also, hashtags printed on the walls in the school.
Does he know like the origin of the hashtag?
No,
and, like,
I don't think so. I don't know if it's worse to put a hashtag in an email or when people post screenshots of hashtags on Instagram. Actually, what's worse than all of those is when people post pictures of QR codes on Instagram. Because what are you doing?
Yeah, wow. There's a lot to unpack just in the past 15 seconds alone, but holy fuck.
And I don't remember what time that one was sent, but a lot of times we would get emails like that, like literally at 11 p.m., at 4 a.m., like at the most random times, and they were so long. And I always would wonder, I was like, I wonder if you wrote this out and then you didn't get the courage to send it till this time, or if you manically wrote it out and sent it at this time. And I don't know which one's more concerning.
He is a pretty bold man. I can't imagine him being like, I don't have the courage to do this. The manic, though, it's like after he snorted his line of coke, he was like, this is time. What a man. What a man. What a mighty good man.
What a man. Derogatory.
What a ride. He crammed a lot into that email. By the time you get from section to section, you're so disturbed by what's in the news section that you have completely forgotten why you were outraged in the previous section.
The more times you read it, like the more layered it becomes.
Yeah, it's like, it's one of those movies where you watch it again and you get another piece of the puzzle the next time you watch it.
I've read this email so many times, and every time I find a new red flag.
Truly, I mean, we opened with the state test is the most important test of your career. We also had a misformatted Barack Obama quote.
The inconsistency of fonts is what gets me. There'll be a random bold and then like
me.
Part of the quote's italicized, but then part of it's not. So does that signify anything?
You just gotta do the right click, and then you can do paste without formatting or paste and match style, and you won't have the same issue as this bozo who doesn't know how to format an email.
Another thing I remember about that school with emails that just deeply disturbed me, and I never got over it, is that in the vice principal's email signature, vice principal was italicized, but the V of vice wasn't, and then there was a space between the I and the V. And like one time I kind of like, I don't even remember what I said. I like brought it up in a super cash way, which was easy because I did like technology training for teachers at the school. I was trying to tell her, because like you're a vice principal of a school, I'm sure you email like random people that work at nonprofits, people at the district, the government. I don't know what's going on in your inbox. And she was like, oh yeah, something's wrong. It never looks right.
You can't identify
like,
it?
And you go to sleep every night just knowing that on every single email you send.
Even if I didn't know how to fix it, I would be up at like 3 a.m. crying and sweating.
I should email her from like a burner account to see if it's still up. Be like, I'd like to make a large donation.
I'll pay you. I'll pay you. I'll do it. Oh my God, let me do it.
No.
I'll fake a spam message.
You make a fake email to the principal and you're like, I need you to go buy me some gift cards.
Do you think that there's just like a guy who's tried that? Like not part of like a phishing like scheme or like a
not
group.
As a network, just as a solo agent. Oh my God.
Anyways, this I thought was very passive aggressive. This is an email from one of our followers. Crazy email from my principal after I asked to see data to support a school-wide change. Oh, girl, we don't ever ask to see the data. We just smile and nod. Smile and nod.
Wave, boys. Smile and wave. Don't analyze that data. Don't look below the surface.
Don't you dare. He framed the meeting as a discussion and asked for our feedback. Oh, well, there you go. So he was asking for feedback and he went like this. Hi, name. I wanted to reach out and let you know that I was a bit concerned with how you shared your points at today's department meeting. To be an advocate for choice is okay. Not great, not acceptable, not welcomed, but okay.
Okay. Wait, O, the letter O and then K, or O-K-A-Y?
O-K-A-Y. Okay.
Yeah. That one, at least he chose the less aggressive form.
You know, you're right. But there also has to be a middle ground that we are willing to strike as members of a high-performing team. I think she had your principal. You advocated that the college prep, parentheses, CP, trajectory. Oh, he CC'd someone, it has to be HR. Because why would he make it so formal? You advocated that the college prep, CP, trajectory be reinstated for juniors. As I explained, this would not be our path for next year. You expressed concerns on 2 occasions. After I refuted this approach with evidence that clearly questions its effectiveness, you asked to review the data yourself. I interpret this to mean that you don't believe the data I was referencing. Girl. You couldn't have been stealthier about this.
But I also am laughing and he's like, and then she didn't even believe me. I literally told her and she didn't believe me.
I appreciate the bold nature of this. You have nothing to lose. Are you tenured? Anyways. Lastly, your closing statement was that we should revisit this again next year. Again, I interpret this to demonstrate your continued disagreement. At no point in today's discussion did recognize and of the points I was trying to make on what is best for our students. You got him upset. I don't even know what the fuck that meant. You got him really flustered by the end there. Standard 4 states that a staff member should be reflective, collaborative, and accept responsibility for school-wide student learning.
Stop.
He hit you with the teacher standards. Thank you for reflecting on my comments following today's discussion. Thank you for being more collaborative moving forward. I hate him, personally.
Immediately no. If someone told me, thank you for being more collaborative moving forward, they would meet a violent level of resistance at any comment they'd made to me. Like, if they were like, it's nice weather today, I'd be like, I'm sweating, personally.
I've seen your business emails. There's no way that would have gone well.
I'm so desensitized, I feel like, because I work in real estate. I think I'm like the tamest, most professional person ever.
You're very professional.
People in the office will be on the phone screaming and be like, go fuck yourself.
Oh my God.
So when I over email and like kind of curt, I'm like, I basically hugged you, so I don't know why you're crying.
See, this is, and I told you this, but I don't think I told you this on the podcast. Me coming from the East Coast to California was a shock. There was a learning curve in that.
I don't think I would do well in California.
You would not. No. No. Well, I think you would. You're very good at assimilating into any, like, social setting, but you would have the same experience where you were like, I was just honest, and everyone would be like...
Why is everyone crying?
Yeah.
I just said what we were all thinking. Why the tears?
Yeah, come on.
And then everyone's like, I wasn't thinking that.
Oh my God. Okay, let's see this one. Here's a nice message from an ex-principal, known union buster of mine in the beginning of the 2020-21 school year. Our district was going to sick out because the school board refused to put any COVID precautions in place, and kids were coming in getting sick left and right. But we were threatened in more ways than one because of our choice to use sick leave. Did you guys ever sick out?
No.
Do you know what that is?
Is that when everyone calls in sick at the same time?
Yeah.
I think if you do that, Ron DeSantis crawls up from a sewer drain in your school and then lights every individual teacher on fire.
You know what?
Please cut that out. If, like, the machines hear that, it's like, it's when you, like, say Bloody Mary 3 times.
No, you're right. I feel yucky just having joked about it. Staff, I want to assure you that blank and I share the frustrations you are experiencing with the indecision, as well as the decisions that are being made by those who lead our district.
When you're trying to reach the word count in an essay. I've literally never seen a more blatant example of that. He's like, when they decide, frustrated. When they don't decide, don't even get me started, you guys. You guys know how it is. My peer in work.
There are currently 14 of you who have chosen to take a sick or personal leave on Monday, October 19th. Good for you. With more of you considering the possibility. Most of the positions will go unfilled. Your students and your peers will be the ones left to face the consequences of your decision. My peers aren't there. And fuck them kids. And fuck you too.
I'd be like, it sounds like Mr. Principal is going to be watching The Lion King in the cafeteria with 200 children. I think the kids are going to have a great time, actually. I think this will be something that they remember for their whole lives and tell their children about.
No, that's literally what would happen too. I urge you to consider an alternative, more positive means to communicate your frustrations. I gotta be honest, this is a pretty tame strike. Coming from LA, it could be so much worse.
Oh my God, what could be worse? This is so foreign to me.
At my first school, I was at a charter school during the UTLA strikes. They weren't at school, obviously, for like a long time. They stood outside of our school with signs and screamed. So my kindergartners were coming to school and I had to be like, don't worry guys, it's fine. It's totally fine. I am not in the okay, this is my favorite fucking part. I laughed out loud when I read this. I urge you to consider an alternative, more positive means to communicate your frustration. I am not in the building today or tomorrow, but I am
You said, y'all better get your fucking ass in that classroom. See you on Friday. Don't text me. Don't call me. And if I see that you were sick, I'm breaking your kneecaps in the parking lot next time I see you.
Oh, jeez. But I am available to visit through email or by phone. Email and ask for the number if you don't have it. I welcome conversation in an effort to overcome our challenges. That is a beautiful, beautiful one.
I will not be in the building today or tomorrow. That reminds me of that scene in Shrek 2 where Lord Farquaad is like, some of you may die, but that's a risk I'm willing to take.
This is an email entitled Christmas Question. And this is a heart warmer, so buckle up. Hello, hope all is well. I was wondering if you like wine. If so, do you prefer red or white, sweet or dry, or like it at all? Do you have a favorite grape varietal? Literally the word varietal. If you do not like wine, what is your favorite holiday indulgence? Thanks so much. And that's it.
That's so sweet.
I know.
I would reply and be like, Tito's, period.
My favorite present, no, that's not my favorite. Okay, when I worked at the charter school on the west side of LA, I got the Casamigos trio. I got Mezcal, Blanco, and the Reposado,
Wow.
the golden one. Because at that time, I couldn't afford, like, anything. I had a permanently overdrawn bank account and maxed out credit
And
cards.
Reposado.
And I had Casamigos tequila. Are you kidding me? It was like the best.
Sold that shit. I would have been on Facebook Marketplace.
Honestly, I should have, but I really was in my drinking era. I was really fucked up all
And you
the
were
time.
going through a lot. Like, when God throws you a W like that, you gotta take it.
And
you
then
know?
that was the same class that got me a $400 gift card to the bougiest spa ever. And I was like, this is how y'all are living? One time I complimented a mom's shoes and she was like, they're very affordable. They were $139. I was like...
At work, everyone always talks about the Golden Goose sneakers and everyone has them. And they're like, they're just such a great, easy shoe. You can mess them up. They go with anything. And I'm like, y'all are being scammed.
There is nothing worse than a Golden Goose shoe.
Really?
I think they are heinous. The fact that you buy a shoe that's $500 and it's scuffed, I'm
like,
sorry.
What are we doing here? That had to have been a joke. And then everyone took it seriously. And then the person that thought of it was like, nope. can't back out. Gotta ride this one out.
I'm so confused. Granted, I remember in like middle school, junior high, when I had new Converse, I was like self-conscious to wear them until they were scuffed up appropriately.
I feel that.
I also wrote lyrics on the side of them. I was really fucking weird.
Of course you did.
I know. Anyways.
A golden goose.
A golden goose. My principal sent this to me. Hi, nice lesson when I stopped in. Nice classroom management. Thank you. Those were all separated by periods. I noticed a few wearing jackets. I don't believe it was cold enough in there for them to wear jackets.
Who the fuck are you to say?
Invite/encourage them to instead dress warmer with sweaters or sweatshirts. My strong hunch, ... It isn't about them being cold. Rather, about them taking control. Thanks, principal.
Invite them to wear a sweater. Hi, Timmy. You're doing amazing, sweetie. Just wanted to tell you that. But quick thing I wanted to chat about. I'm feeling really oppressed and controlled by your jacket, and I just wanted to kind of call you into a conversation about maybe going the sweater route. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
It has to be a thing where this principal had to give feedback. Actually, that was my thought until the end when they said it's about them taking control.
Yeah, like, you didn't have to include that part, dude. My hunch? Okay, Nancy Drew.
That is the weirdest fucking hunch I've ever heard. That I've heard a lot of shit
Reply,
takes.
my hunch, ... You need help.
I said I wanted to read the most unhinged shit I've ever read, and these people brought it.
This is good. We should do more episodes like this.
I know. Oh, this is weird. This person says, this is a fantastic and probably my favorite of all time email sent to a member of my grade level team. We teach kindergarten. Titled Sex Ed.
What? Whoa. Whoa.
I have a couple awkward questions. And I want to tell you that this is in response to, I can see the original email. It's like a introductory teacher to parent email. It's like, it has been great meeting my students and families this week. Blah, 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 blah. So it's like early in the year. I have a couple awkward questions.
Let's get into it. Shit.
When teaching kindergartners about sex ed, will they be taught about penetration or oral sex? How often is the sex ed taught? And how hard is it to opt out of it? I am hearing rumors about what is taught. Awkwardly sent from my iPhone. Somebody was on fucking Libs of TikTok and was like, please don't teach my baby about oral sex.
Some right-winger was 8 glasses of white wine deep, 3 a.m, just deep into QAnon posts.
They're on 4chan.
I was like, oh my fucking god, I need to see email that. What was that lady's email? I think she emailed us. So these are some bullshit. There's something about a form. We'll get her email address. That's what this is.
Literally, some conservatives scared the pants off of this person. I think this person's more of like a very gullible on the fence. They're like,
yeah,
their brain's telling them this shit probably isn't correct, but my husband's a Trump supporter and he's coming home spewing all this shit and sending me these memes.
I gotta check this out. How would you reply to this? I'm trying to think how I would reply to this as a teacher, and I can't even think of what I would do.
I would literally say, we do not teach sex ed or anything of the sort in kindergarten. Who is telling you that we do? Do you want to meet? That is exactly what I would say.
My strategy whenever someone asks me a question that makes me uncomfortable because either I don't know the answer or I think it's a weird question or whatever is just to throw as much information at them as possible to completely overwhelm them, because then they are afraid to ask you a follow-up question until they go through all of these things. So if I work with you and you're listening to this podcast, I have done that to you and it's worked. So I would have been like, we do not teach that in kindergarten. Here's a district office that's in charge of sex ed for high school if you're interested. Here's a link to the entire kindergarten curriculum. Here's a link to a Teachers Pay Teachers that I get stuff from a lot. Like, I would be like, here's Miss Rachel's YouTube channel.
When people send me something like that, I know that they are like cracked open. They are like a baby bird. I want to know the origin of that thought, who said it to you.
You want to be the light in the darkness, and I just want to drive that further away from me so I can continue to not deal with it.
Those are both equally bad reactions on both of our parts.
So I used to really react that way, and then now I think I'm like so burnt out from other people's emotions because I also worked at a very fancy resort, and rich women will just tell you anything. anything. So I think I've just spent too many years hearing other people's emotional stories, and now I'm like, ooh, let me not get involved with that. I'm like, keep that over there. I'd be like, we don't do that. XOXO, Gossip Girl. Seemed like you were in a silly, goofy mood. We can never talk about this again. And that's fine with me.
God.
I'd be like, I'll forget it if you forget it.
Oh my God. I read this like 6 times and I was like, this isn't real. But I see the screenshot, so I know that it's real. Miss Blank, I'm going to be honest. I hope I'm not crossing a line. You're beautiful. Very beautiful.
Oh.
You probably could tell I have a crush on you. More of a statement. Between us, I like your pretty toes as well. I would normally keep my thoughts private, but I wanted to tell you.
Yeah, let's get back to that. Let's get back to keeping those thoughts pretty private.
Again, I hope I didn't cross a line or make you uncomfortable. I apologize if so. Let's normalize secrets.
When I was teaching early Head Start, there was this one dad who would always just like, you know when men look at you for so long and like, they just look at every inch of you and you can feel them looking at you. He would always do that during like dismissal time, because during dismissal time we would go out to the playground and play with all the kids like in a big group, and then the parents would just like come to the playground to pick the kids up. And so he would always just kind of like hang around like a little too long. And it wasn't just me, like he was staring at everybody. And I remember one time I was playing with his son and he was like, I'm glad my son has someone so great with him at school. And I was like,
ew.
Okay. And I didn't really like think a ton of it because I was like, that was gross, but whatever. And then a couple days later, I found out one of the teachers that was literally like 7 months pregnant. That was his child. But the child that was in the class, the one that I was watching, had a different mother that he was with when the kid first started. So I was like, your kid came to this school, you got a teacher pregnant, and then while the pregnant teacher is literally like 30 feet away, you're hitting on another teacher? What are you doing? You are literally being a menace in this community.
I want the confidence.
Right?
That is the confidence I need in my life. That's crazy. This message was sent the same day that he asked the office manager to take her shoes off, too.
There is a medication that he either took way too much of or not enough on this day.
Oh, I had blacked out. She told me what she said back.
Oh.
I missed it because I was so frazzled. Oh my God. I didn't even mean to do that. She said, that's not appropriate. Let's see if the top of the letters match. No shame if you sent her your feet.
We just see that it's a picture.
I don't know. I don't see a T. I don't see a top of a T. Anyways.
This is quite literally the biggest scandal of the podcast.
I love this. The student went on to another school and the dad asked to see another teacher's feet. My friend's roommate. So I guess he had a thing for teachers and feet. How small is this town?
And they were roommates.
Wow.
That was a lot.
Was a doozy. Oh, this one's kind of sad. Good morning, Miss Teacher. His name. Thank you for reaching out. I am not sure what happened with personnel services. I thought you had resigned already when you communicated that you would not be back. I hope that you are doing well. I am glad that you are happy with your decision. Unfortunately, at this time, it would not be appropriate to say goodbye to students and families. As you know, you were one of the best teachers I had the privilege of working with. Please email me when you have left your keys and laptop so that I can make sure to get them from the classroom. They just said you can't say goodbye. She said, I just found out they never told my families what happened to their kid's teacher. Sad. I should have collected these before we recorded. Redacted's tired. The talent's sleepy, guys.
You should make the little go-go juice that they give to the little girls on Toddlers and Tiaras.
For you.
Yeah, that's what I need to start having.
My little golden goose you are.
My tiredness is a victim of the traffic that took me an hour and a half to get home.
Did you work out? Did you really do that?
Yeah.
You're amazing. You amaze me. Anyways, this looks insane. Before we read this next one, we are going to take a break and see if somebody bought this spot for an ad.
See you on the flip side.
This is an email I got from a parent during the Zoom year after numerous attempts to get me fired. For context, student turned in blank assignments, a classic, didn't come to office hours, barely participated, and had similar interactions in previous years. Wow. Okay. Hello. Could you please stop sending me these updates? At this point, it seems like my child should repeat all of elementary. You all have failed her, and it really is disappointing. At this time, there are about 2 more weeks left. My child will not be attending the school next year. I hope you all understand that this is completely wrong. For you all to see these reports and to not address the teacher is ridiculous. You employee careless teachers, and I have stated this over and over. I assume that was you employ careless teachers.
Oh, God.
It's highlighted and it says, please reply to this email about graduation only. I don't know what that means. I don't want any more quotes, capital letters, negative reports about my child when, caps, we all know her reading level is higher than first grade. I don't want no more conversations.
She said she can fucking read and leave me alone. I'm tired of getting the emails about it, and there's no unsubscribe button. I'm gonna report you to Gmail.
It is ludicrous that you all allowed sex education to come before doing a homework hour.
Why are so many parents concerned about sex education in elementary school?
So we want to teach our 11 to 12-year-olds about sex before homework. You all have your priorities all over the place. You all should have an urgent meeting to discuss my child failing and what actions we're going to improve her grades. You cannot keep directing it back on a student if your job is to educate. No meeting was held. Nothing was done in regards to an action plan besides the tutor. What about her grades from you all? What about the support from her teacher? When will Ms. Blank show she cares by hosting a mandated homework hour? It is a shame when my kindergartner has a mandatory homework time and my 5th grader doesn't. You all need to duplicate blank and understand / re-educate yourselves of what the school pride is. You left a child behind, and you, blank teacher's name,
CC George Bush,
should have addressed this situation tremendously better. Wow, what a journey we just went on together.
My favorite part is when it was like, nothing was done except you constantly notifying me and getting a tutor for my child.
You did nothing except for everything that you did.
Then a meeting was never held. How'd we end up with a tutor if no one ever talked?
I'm sorry, I can't. I hate them. I hate that
and
for
like,
you.
Okay, so I feel like at the core of this is a parent who wants their child to do well. But I feel like we just have strayed so far from that light here.
I'm gonna throw up. Are you ready for this one? Your jaw will drop.
Yes.
Hope all is well. There's not even like a space between like hope all is well and what is next.
Same line. Not even a tab.
Yeah. Hang on, I'm gonna breathe.
You got this.
Hope all is well. Did you show your class this gay video yesterday?
Hope all is well. You gay?
Wait, I want to watch it.
What's the gay video in question?
Let's find out. Oh, it's gone.
The gay video taken down, you guys.
That's hilarious. Blank mentioned that you did. If so, why? And what was your learning goal / objective for this? 3 question marks. Now we entered a new line. I'm really upset. New line. I don't allow my children to be exposed to this agenda. It's biblically prohibited in our faith. Please stick with teaching the little children math, English, and all other good morals according to the Bible, like caring and sharing, etc. There was a lot of murder in the Bible.
You know, the Bible. Caring, sharing, etc.
Yeah, that's exactly what I think of when I think of the Bible. But please, do not teach my 6-year-old boy, child, or any other kid about this nonsense. It is not okay to indoctrinate little ones and teach them wrong things like a boy can love a boy! 3 exclamation points.
Is this literally Jim Bob Duggar typing this email?
Why don't you teach them that God made man and woman to fall in love and get married and procreate? How can a man or woman and a woman be fruitful and multiply, which is a commandment of God? Okay, this part sounds like she's really asking. She wants to know. Let's answer. I'm just kidding. It starts with the teachers teaching the right thing, not things that would confuse a child later on or cause them to be suicidal. Look it up.
Look it up.
These groups have one of the highest rates. I think she's really upset.
If you're reading a headline about gay people having high rates of suicide, and that's the conclusion you came to, we need to have another talk about your interpretation of statistics, I guess. You need to read Freakonomics.
Here's the thing. Not only is homophobia violent and awful, it is embarrassing. People who are homophobic in the year of our Lord 2023 need to get a fucking grip. Like, that is your takeaway from what's wrong with the world? Okay. Fucking weirdos.
Like, they're suicidal because of you, LOL.
Yeah, you're the reason. Hello?
Look in the mirror.
Look in the mirror. I don't know if this is now part of official public school education, seeing that Transgender Week was celebrated, and teachers are encouraging that you can be any penguin / cucumber that you like, and there is
I missed that email. I want to be a cucumber.
What the fuck are they referring to?
No, they're talking about, like, it's like a the boomer thing. They're like, oh, now you can just identify as anything. Like, I identify as a chair, since apparently now it's just whatever you want. It's like,
Thank you for translating.
it's like them taking it there when like no one took it there.
My Southern California ass was like, I have literally no idea what you're talking about. And then there is all the letter of the alphabet month. I assume that's Pride Month.
I would have been like, Read Across America month?
They're trying to rebrand.
My school did like the Read Across America thing, or they were planning on it, and then I like sent an email and I was like, hey, Dr. Seuss is super racist, so if maybe we want to like think of another idea. And then everyone told me that I was being dramatic, and then the principal dressed up as Dr. Seuss and went around the school, and I was like, for sure.
My first year teaching, I walked into my kindergarten classroom and I was like, I can't wait for Read Across America week to celebrate Dr. Seuss's birthday. And my coworker literally looked at me and was like, we don't do that. And it was 2018. And then in 2020, when I got on TikTok and I saw everybody still doing it, I threw a bitch fit about it. Well, guess how Read Across America is celebrating this year?
What are they doing?
They're celebrating Banned Book Week.
Ooh.
And it's read a banned book. And they have you text a number and it sends you a list of banned books so that you can pick one to read your kids or your class.
How do I get involved with this?
The website.
And now everyone on this podcast can also do that.
Yeah, no, very cool. Anyways, oh God. Even just last week, my other 10-year-old boy in grade 5 was shown non-binary as a gender, besides the God-made male and female. I had to address that as well. This is Dwight Schrute from The Office. This is a school where parents send their kids to learn, and we trust that they are learning the right thing. Was that coded language for right wing? I don't know. There is an absolute God-given truth, ... not man-made lies, ... I have always admired you as a teacher and the way the kids look up to you and trust and respect you. So I pray that you would be more mindful in the future towards these young, impressionable minds. I don't know if you are a Christian, but the Bible says that God sends a harsh warning for anyone who leads his little ones, whom he loves, astray. On a more positive note, congrats on your pregnancy and wishing you all the best with your little one.
He's like, thanks for being straight and getting pregnant. We really appreciate that. Great work. Keep that up. Cut the gay shit out, but keep up the pregnancy shit.
Oh my God. Did I tell you about the parent I screamed at last year?
No. I mean,
Okay.
maybe.
I'll tell a little ditty of my own today, since we all did. So last year, there was a parent in my class who's like notoriously, everybody talks about her as being like really hard to deal with. And I never had any issues at all. I really liked her child. We had a good vibe going on. I thought everything was good. But like things would keep happening at recess and stuff. He and another boy got in a fight about playing a game, and he punched the other kid so fucking hard that he fell backwards into my line and knocked over 3 girls, and they started crying. And I was like 8 months pregnant. It was right before my maternity leave. Things like that would happen all the time. The boys just were not getting along, but I still maintain that like they were all like good kids. They just were put in an environment where like all of the kids had very specific behavior needs around them and like needed very individualized attention to meet their needs, but they were in a class of entirely kids that needed individualized attention. Like it just was a fucking shit show.
They're all just triggering the shit out of each other.
Exactly. Constantly. Like they wanted to crawl out of the classroom because they were just like, this is so overstimulating and triggering and whatever. Anyways, so I needed a day off. So this mom of this kid calls me. I'm pretty open with my parents, like whatever. So I had a sub that day, but I got a phone call and I was like, gosh, something must be wrong for her to be calling me while I'm at home. I answered the phone.
First mistake.
I don't even remember. I think it was like somebody in the office took chips off of her kid because there's like this initiative of like you can't have junk food at school, and I never take shit from kids. I don't believe in that, but if I'm not around, something might happen. This mother calls me on 11, and this is something I'd heard that she was doing to other teachers in the office and whatever, but not to me. She's yelling at me. I'm trying to speak. I'm like, please explain to me what's going on. Like I'm on your side. Like I want to help, but I need to understand what's going on. I'm not there today. She's screaming, interrupting me, and that's for me like a huge trigger. Like if I have a fight with somebody and they're not letting me speak, like it drives me fucking crazy. So I lost it. I have never screamed at a person like this ever, and I don't think I ever will again. But I was like, I am answering your phone call on my day off. I am 8 months pregnant and I am on your side because I'm trying to help you, and you're screaming at me and I didn't do it. I didn't do a single thing. And I don't understand what your problem is. My husband comes in the room and I'm bawling because, of course, I can't yell without crying. So I'm like snotting and hysterically crying and screaming at this parent. And she's on the other line like, I'm so sorry. She's like, I remember what it's like to be pregnant. You're right. I'm so sorry. She never screamed at anybody again. And like after I left, texted me and was like, I'm really sorry for everything. And I'm like, it's okay. These things happen.
Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody has those days.
So after I did what I did, I called my principal and I was like, I just screamed at a parent and she was like, who? And I told her and she was like, you know what? That might be just what she needed.
She's like, thank you for putting yourself on that cross because I couldn't do it. And you're pregnant, so you could do it. And we appreciate you for that.
Exactly. God, what a trip this whole thing was.
I love this. I think we should do this again.
Yeah?
Yeah. So we'll do this again.
Yes, we will.
Be on the lookout on both of our Instagrams or our TikToks and our Twitters. And who knows where we'll ask for them. You know what I mean? Who freaking knows?
We're going to keep you on your toes.
Yeah.
All right. We love you.
Turn notifications on. Bye. See you next week.
Bye, suckers. Dun, 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 dun.